I usually always I usually always go live before I get. And you guys, you know what? This outfit looks like the one that I had yesterday, but I promise you this. Anyway, it's the same outfit, but I just used it for the show. But you know what? Hmm, the outfits, oh, not outfits. Do I even have outfits? And do I really care? No. Like when I finish live stream, I like wearing pajamas and stuff because I rarely go anywhere. So after the show, I just remove the clothes and put them away. Haha. I don't know if this hair. No, if that's okay. Maybe. Yeah, for some reason my neck is just tired for absolutely no reason. Okay, welcome to the live stream, everybody. My good name is Wambai. Yes, yes, yes. Yet another day. When you join in, kindly say hi. Let me know where you're watching me from. How is your week going? Today is on. Is it on Tuesday or Wednesday? Actually, these days I don't even know the date. Let me check. Uh, oh wow, today is on Monday. Oh my god, it's kind of like I already want this week to come to an end. That's beautiful. Yeah, that looks good. Anyway. Oh my god. I don't know why. Maybe I should stand up. You know, I don't know why these days. I don't know if it's because of sitting. I needed to buy myself an office chair or an office whatever. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. When you join in, can you like the live stream? We're just getting started over here. My good name is Omboy. US 999 in the truck. Hi, good to see you. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. How is it going, guys? Let me know where you're watching me from. My good name is Wamboy. I was born and raised in Kenya, so and this is I Am Wamboy Live. So let me know how you're doing. First of all, we start with greetings. Greetings. Okay, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. Where are you watching me from, and how are you doing today? Yeah, have a stiff neck or something. Okay, right now in Kenya it's 10:11 p.m. 10:11 p.m. So it's later on at night. Uh, so yep. Are you wearing a coat? Yes. Oh, because it's hot over there where you are at. Here in Kenya it's so cold. It's so cold, like so cold. Uh, we are not in summer here. We do not have seasons here. We only have cold season and wet season, hot season and cold season. Yeah, let me tell you what's the temperatures where you're at. Here the temperature 64 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It went down to like 56 at some point. So, haha. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. When you join in, like the live stream. Also consider subscribing. Is the purple dress is normal one? Normal one? What does that mean? Normal one? It's a purple dress. I don't know. Is it purple? Yeah, I think it is. Ooh. Does that mean normal one? I think my camera is blurry. I kind of touched it with like I need to wipe it or something. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Wamboy. Oh my god, so we're gonna be having a couple of conversations. You can start by telling me where you're watching me from. Okay, we're gonna be starting with like we normally do lots of questions on my live stream, so we're gonna be starting with this question. Do you play games? Do I play games? Yes, in real life, but not on the live stream. Also, I do not play computer games. uh Maybe because I've never been exposed to them, but yeah. Okay, guys, like the live stream. You're literally just getting started. Okay, that will be our first question. um how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy? Okay, and this is just because like the cost of living have literally gone up. I don't know if it's everywhere, but at least where I'm at, the cost of living have literally gone high. So it's just literally a question. I saw somebody saying that, like, for example, here in Kenya, in the past years, you could literally survive with 100, just say 200 shillings per day. Right now, out here, without 1,000, honestly, I don't think if you can survive. I don't think you can survive with less than 1,000. Like 1,000 is, like, but I don't think, but 1,000 is not a lot. 1,000 is like, is it like $10 or something? So how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy? And guys, we're literally just getting started. Keep telling me where you're watching me from. So that's how we get started here, by greetings and all of those good stuff. I think I started streaming earlier than my usual crowd, but of course they're gonna catch up with me. Let me see, how much is 1,000 shillings? Oh yeah, oh, 7.73 US dollars. That's what basically for the person, if you're not trying to go overboard, yeah, at least 1,000 shillings, $7.73. That's what you need to survive here a day. But also it depends on the type of stuff that you're into, because if you go and buy one burger, then you can only buy that one burger. But if you maybe buy the usual stuff or like the regular stuff, uh, yeah, I think you can survive with 1,000 per day. Okay, guys, we're literally just getting started, so start by sending in your greetings. Also like the live stream. Okay, I need to put the count. Okay, and did you guys also watch the World Cup? Yeah, I think I lost my bet yesterday. I was betting Argentina. I was nowhere near close. Da, da, da. too small backbone. Do. Guys, like the live stream. Kindly like the live stream. You're just getting started. Of course, you're gonna start going with the discussions at like this works. A small act of kindness you remember. So there's 2 questions on the screen. You can literally choose the one that you prefer. Down, Piano Man. Down the way when the nights again, the sun shine daily on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I'm sad to say I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a day. My head is down, my head is spinning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town. Down at the market, you can ladies cry out well on their heads they bear. I keep rice so fish and nice, and the run is good any time of year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My head is down, my head is spinning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston. Okay, guys, there's 2 questions on the screen. There is a small act of kindness you remember, and also how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy. Okay, we're just getting started, and I don't know, I started streaming early, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, Taremo Blair says hi. Hi Taremo, good to see you. How is it going? Going's good. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Wow, and you came back. Where did you say you're watching me from? I don't remember. Where are you watching me from? I think I remember you from another live stream. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. Okay, now we're just gonna get started. I think everything is set up. Kampala. Oh, Kampala. Yes, the stream on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, you know what? And how did I forget that? How did I forget that? You said you're from Uganda. Oh my God. How is Uganda? Lord, I feel so bad whenever I forget, because that's something that I pride myself in. I think people show up on my live stream, and then when you come back next time, when I finally see your name, I just say where you told me you're from. I kind of, that didn't stick in my mind or something. Okay, so of course I did show up early for the live stream. So of course we're gonna be doing basic things or basic questions before the usual crowd shows up, because of course they are used to late hours. Yeah, I think yesterday I did stream at like 3 p.m. and people were like complaining, oh, one boy, why are you streaming early? Like, you're excluding us and all of that type of stuff. Oh, let me put a Hope I'm back live. Guys, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. Thank you so much for being here. When you join in, let me know where you're watching me from. Consider liking the live stream. We are literally also just getting started. I think I'm also having network issues here and there, but of course we do have like 2 questions already right now. So how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy? Like how much do you need to spend per day for you to survive in your country's economy? Also, we do have another question on the screen. A small act of kindness you remember. Okay, it could be anything. It could be anything basically. Okay, there's something that caught my today. We didn't have electricity. Actually, we lost electricity for almost the whole day, which is why I didn't stream during the day. And then when I was just sitting here, and then I just started reading one of the books that I've been reading for a long time. Hope I'll find the thing that I'm telling you about. And basically, guys, okay, let me show you. It's supposed to be. Wow, I think I lost the page. Steven Moria. Hi, Steven. Good to see you. How is it going? Welcome to the live stream. But basically, the thing was talking about, see, like the way we usually just sit down and then say, oh my God, I heard a voice from God, or like I have this calling, like I have a calling to become a teacher, I have a calling to become a doctor, I have a calling to become a professor. So basically, I think I'll try to look for that page and show you all. But he was just saying the whole thing of like, I have a calling. It's just our mind playing some delusional games with us. So and then he just said that a calling is nothing but a job you would like to have. Okay, because I think that have changed my mindset so much. Like a calling is nothing but a job you would like to have. Because the thing is, I think our minds try to play. For example, whatever I'm doing right now, YouTube thing, coming here live and stuff. Okay, I can sit here and tell you, oh my God, I just feel like I have this calling to do this, but I don't think it's a calling. I think I don't think any job is a calling. I feel like it's just a job that you would like to have. Let me know if you think that people are called to do stuff, or do you think this is just the dreams that people have? Rambo King says, where are you from? I'm from Kenya. Where are you from, Rambo King? Guys, kindly like the live stream. Would really appreciate that. Itan says hi. Hi, is it Itan or Aitan? Aitan one. Hey, good to see you. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. We do have like 2 questions on the screen. Let me know which country are you watching me from, and how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy? How much is enough for you to survive a day in your country? Rambo says, I am from India. It's really funny that your name is Rambo, because I have a bear and his name is Lambo. That's really funny. That's really funny. Okay. Let me know, guys, especially whatever job you do right now. Do you think that you have a calling to do the job that you're doing? Or do you feel like a calling is nothing but a job you would like to have? Because I think this whole time I kind of felt like what we're being told is like, you have to have a calling. And if you do not have a calling, it's like, what's going on here? So is it a must for you to have a calling, or like, do you all feel like most of the time jobs that we end up doing is just it's not a calling, it's just something that we want to do? SWAT. Okay, let me read from the laptop. I think it's easier that way. Swatya Silkana says, hello, how are you? And by the way, your smile is really beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Where are you watching me from? And how is it going? You know, here in India, we are having very big protests. Ooh, what are you protesting about? What are you protesting about? How much? How much can you maybe say you are eating, let's say you're eating you live in the city, you're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay, I did say like 1,000 Kenya shillings. Right now you kind of need 1,000 Kenya shillings per day to survive here. Okay, and of course that's not what we are surviving with, but basically where our economy is at, we literally need 1,000 survive. But 1,000 is like $7.72 or something of the sort, or seven euros. Satyal Sin says, I'm from Austria. Ooh, Austria. I think I'm now getting a lot of people from, not a lot of, actually, you're the second person to say that they're from Austria here. Thank you so much for tuning in. How much can you maybe comfortably survive in Austria? Like how much money when you're living in the city and you buy breakfast, lunch, dinner? How much can you survive with? Uh, Process on bad. What is this thing? Pardon me. Protest on exam, paper leak, and bad education. Ooh, bad education. Oh, that's deep. That's deep. So you all feel like you're not getting the type of education your children deserve. Okay. I have always wondered what's the purpose of examinations, because it's like some people get the leakage of these exams anyway, I overheard somebody saying that when they have children, they'll not be taking their children to school. And honestly, if you're really good at like teaching your children the things that they learn at school, for me, I think children should go to school because they kind of learn to interact with people, to talk with people from different backgrounds. But apart from that, I feel like school is a waste of time sometimes. Maybe 20 to 30 euros per day. Wow. Okay, 20 to 30 euros. Let me tell you how much. Okay, let's do 30 euros. 30 euros in Kenya. Wow. This fuck, I didn't. We have to tell them minimum what, not minimum, like what you feel like is fair in the current economy. Wow. 1 euro right now is converting at 147 Kenya shillings. So which means, why is this thing telling me all of this stuff? Like, nonsense. Is giving me a thing to translate, but basically is almost like 5,000 Kenya shilling. That's a lot per day. But you kind of also have to look at what are people earning. Satya says, that's why I love to cook. I buy it cheap and make good food out of it for more days. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay. You know what? Cooking is underrated, because this month, at the beginning of this month, I wasn't feeling like cooking. So I started buying food every day. So, but you know what? I could only buy one. It's either I start, okay, let's say I wake up later on in the day. So it's like by the time I'm ready to get myself something, it's like 3 p.m. and then I'll go and get myself dinner. So it will be one plate, okay? And it's just so expensive. Okay. Rambo says it's $10 in India. $10 to survive a day in India. Okay. I said that Kenya is like 1,000 shilling, but this is just for the survival. Not if you're trying to eat well, not if you're trying to like have a good time. No, if you just want to eat well. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Wambui. Keep saying hi. Let me know how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy. Also, there's also another question. A small act of kindness you remember. Kaya says the problem is the meat is expensive, all the other stuff is cheap. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you kind of have to like cut cut the meat out of your diet and just eat flat, or become a fruitarian or a vegetarian or something, you know. Malwande Mabaso. For example, like out here, cheese is just, for those people who like things with cheese, is just like, I don't know, I can't say it's excessively expensive, but it's not cheap. Malwande Mabaso, how are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. When you join into the live stream, can you like the live stream? Remington, you just play a lot. Okay, the question is, can you speak English? You. Okay. Wow, this, you know, honestly, this shows how much like in the next few years, I think it will be a minimum of $50 or 50 euros to survive a day. Yeah, that is getting more and more expensive, I think so. Okay. Okay, and also there's a question that I had asked before, like, do you guys feel like people have calling for the job that they end up doing? Because I honestly feel like nobody have a calling. I feel like a calling is nothing but a job you like to have, you know. Kaya says, how many do you need in your country to survive per day, and where are you from? Per day survival. This is survival, not living, you know. Survival, 1,000 shillings, which is like, let's say $8, $7, $8. You can comfortably survive per day with $7, $8, and that's for the people who are doing well financially. And I am from Kenya. Kenya is in Africa. You know Kenya? Kenya. For those of you who speak Dutch. Okay. They are, so that's 10 euros. No, you have right now the conversion rate, 1 euro is equals to 140 something. Oh, 1 euro is equals to 147 Kenya shillings. So yeah, it's like almost like 7 euros or something, or maybe 6. I don't know the conversions. Okay, moving on. Let me type the next question. Okay. What's something you would never do again for money? What's something you would never do again for money? So that's the next question. Kaya says, love Kenya and the tribe culture a lot, but why is this stuff repeating what I'm saying? God. Love Kenya and the tribe culture a lot. The bush people, how they survive without any electricity, only just survive and be together. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of like slowly kind of going away. But for me personally, growing up, and I think I've said that before, growing up, we didn't have electricity, but at least I think years ago we got electricity. In my village, we didn't have electricity when we were younger. Okay. So I think why are you guys always impressed by the tribes, the tribes in African countries, the survival? I think that's just life, right? Malwande Mabaso. Hi Malwande Mabaso. How much do you need to survive in your country? What's something you would never do again for money? You know, I think I gave a story of my first job. Like I went to do a first job as a nanny. I think that's something that I will never do again for money. You know, no, I will never become a nanny again for money. No, no, like I will never become a nanny again for money. I would rather Let me not say that. But you know, I'd rather just die or something. Like, no, becoming a nanny, not to mention the disrespect that you face in that household where you become the daddy. No. And if I was to become a nanny, maybe abroad or something. I cannot become a nanny in Kenya, to be really honest. They showed me that family is everything. Yeah. Yeah, in those moments, like the moment, when you're living in this lifestyle where like you don't have electricity, you're living, the only thing that matters, you don't have a phone to keep scrolling. The only people that matters, the people that you share stories with to keep each other entertained, are your family. So yeah, I would never lie again for money. Okay, tell us your story. Something. Okay, guys, there's a question here. What's something you would never do again for money? I said I will never become a nanny again for money. Okay, and I'm not saying that I will never become, but if I will become, I have to scrutinize, and then I have to look at the money. And like, is it worth it? Like the money have to be worth it. If I do it, the money needs to be worth it. Yeah, that's something else. If I end up doing it, is like you literally have to be worth all of that. No, why am I having a mild headache? Okay, what's something you would never do again for money? So I think I just shared mine. Uh, I was a banker. My job was to lie to the people for investment. Oh, okay. But when you lie in the line, okay, then would you ever become a lawyer? Because when you become a lawyer, that's exactly what you do. You lie to people just so that they can, you lie on behalf of people. Okay, so but what type of lie, what's one of the lies that you think people lie, especially when it comes to things like banking? Maybe tell them that their money is going to multiply if they invest with your bank. Ooh, okay. And why? Personally, like what I'm saying, I'll never become an analyst because I saw dust. You know, I didn't feel like, you know, when you do jobs like being a nanny, you kind of feel worthless at some point. You start feeling worthless. Yeah, so me personally, a job that for something you would never do again for money is the nanny job. Like it just makes you feel like you don't value yourself, not to mention the constant disrespect you face. Kaya says, oh, this thing is repeating itself. Never. That's the one job I say nobody is able to judge. Only, I think you said only God. Okay, so you would never become a judge or anything of the sort. You never become anything to do with like judging, becoming a lawyer. Oh God, 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 God. Okay, okay. Wow, interesting. Or something you would never do again for money. Okay, and also there's another question that I just put up on the screen. Funny misunderstanding you've had. Ooh, CJ, good to see you. How is it going? Welcome to the live stream. Kaya says, nah, now I'm a construction worker and happy every day work with people, good money. Okay. Okay. CJ says, what's wrong with being a babysitter? That sounds like a pretty honest, modest job to me. It is, but oh my god, let me tell you, I think you've never heard my story about how I went to this job to become a babysitter, but I was gonna get hosted at that point. So of course I'm from the village at that point, and I think I was like 17 or maybe 18 or something. So I traveled all the way to Nairobi, and I was gonna start living with these people. God, I can become that, but the money honestly was not worth the treatment, the disrespect. It was not worth it. Okay, if maybe the money is good money and you're not living with them, yeah. Can you become a babysitter? Because for me it's all about how you're being treated. The problem is with the employers. It's like this constant, this feeling that they constantly have that this feeling that they constantly have that you have to, like, they have to mistreat you or something just because you're doing an honest job. So that's why in my opinion, yeah. Not to mention the woman was gonna pay me. Actually, I ran away after 2 days. She was going to pay me like, and this was good money back then, because I was still like 17 or something. Or to me, in a child's mind, it was okay. I was gonna be given shelter, food, and everything. So it would have been like, how much? How much? When I think about the money, it's just even shameful. I think it was like 8,000 or 7,000 Kenya shilling. Do you know how much that is? It's like $40. No, maybe 60. You know? Yeah, no. CJ says free shelter and food and pay. That sounds pretty good to me. Okay, would you do the job? Okay, but see, 60, it was like, and we're not talking about per hour. Okay, it's like $60 the whole month. And you know what? The type of work that I would do? Okay, she would wake me up at like 4 a.m. So she would do she had a small child, okay? So she would do a pretty much pumping the milk. So, but there was a lot of things that were gross in my opinion. Like, I'm just there, 17 years old, I don't have responsibilities. And then I'm being woken up at 4 a.m. And I'm not lazy, but I'm being woken up at 4 a.m. Another thing that pissed me off, like, she liked to not clean her pumping tools. So that kind of like pissed me off. I didn't like that. So, and then she just had this disrespect going on, and like kind of felt like because I was willing to work for that little, or like maybe because I was not coming from wealth, or it was my first time in the city. I don't know what was going on, but I just didn't feel like I could stay. So I only stayed for one day. The next day, I made a friend. I asked her to give me her phone, and then I contacted my parents. So I don't know. For me, it's all about the respect, disrespect. I would have stayed, even I would have worked for free, to be really honest. But it just depends with like how you're being treated. Okay. What's something you would never do again for money? That's the question that we're dealing with. But I'm about to put up another one. Okay. What's what's a skill you think will matter most in the next 5 years? Okay, that's the next one. You sound like a very picky person. No, I do not. Okay, can you work for $60? Can you work for $60? And how, okay, when you're working for $60, at what time should you wake up? I honestly, I'm not really picky. Actually, at some point in my life, I volunteered somewhere for 6 months. I was not even being given a dime. But you know what? I was feeling respected. The environment was conducive. You had your own free time and stuff going on. So a month, a month. Can you work for $60 a month? See, so I don't think that I'm picky because I worked at this place and I was doing most work. I used to wake up very early in the morning, but I had volunteered on purpose. Like I wanted to just volunteer, okay? But you know what? I felt respected. It was a good working condition, uh, and all of those things, you know. So honestly, respect is the huge thing here. Um, what's a skill you think will matter most in the next 5 years? Okay, and for those of you seeing me for the first time, my good name is Wamboy. Okay, see, you went quiet, you because you can't work. Okay, $60 a month. Okay, maybe your yeah, to Kenya shillings is like, and I even think, let me check how much is that. Why is this thing doing like that? Convert. Okay, this thing is refusing to convert, but it's like almost like 7,000 Kenyan shillings or seven, yeah, something of the sort. So that's all. You can almost buy nothing. Honestly, you can almost buy nothing. But as far as you're being given accommodation and all of that, maybe that's not so bad, you know. Okay, what's a skill you think will matter most in the next 5 years? Yeah, I feel like if you can work with AI in the next 5 years, that's what's going to be to matter the most. See, all of these things that we are being able to do right now, and AI will be able to do it. Okay, skills that will matter the most in the next 5 years. I think, of course, maybe working with AI, or maybe I don't know, maybe AI will matter the most. Honestly, I fear for the things that AI is able to do even at the moment. Is like, oh my god, how is this thing even able to do all of those type of stuff, you know? So it's literally scary, the type of things that AI can be able to do. So I don't know what will matter in the next 5 years. uh all I know is like most of the jobs that are there right now will be taken by AI. CJ says, I'm not sure. That's a good question. Okay. Yeah, good question. Good question, to be really honest. But you know what? Like, I think everything will be AI in the next few years. Actually, right now, you cannot differentiate the difference between real time videos or real people or even AI. Like, they're just, yeah. And the type of things, the fact that even AI is able to even have like intelligent conversations. You know, the number of times that I'm like chatting with ChatGPT, telling ChatGPT what I'm going through, and the fact that they offer solutions or like comfort, comfort. You know, yesterday I was playing with Google, like, hey Google or something. And then oh my god, this thing responded. No, 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 no. Yeah, it responded. Oh god. CJ says, I feel kind of old. I actually never tried to use AI before. Really? Tried? Let me tell you, these days I don't even think. You see, like sometimes you're going through something and then you feel like you need to tell someone so that you can feel it. I just have full blown conversations with this thing. I'm telling AI what I'm going through, and then they're just giving you real time advice, asking you, oh my god, how okay, all of this type of stuff. So, for example, yesterday, these days I've been like obsessed with like watching cops chase or something like that. So police chase or something. Okay, and then I just was watching the police dog and stuff, and then I was saying to I want you to get me a police dog because you're literally a man. I have my Google in voice of a man. So then he just kept saying that like, I'm not a man, I'm an AI. But the fact that you can have such conversations back and forth, no. When I'm alone, you can't think that I'm alone. I'm always like talking with it back and forth and it responds in real time. Okay, I was telling it, you're a man, buy me, buy me a police dog. Yeah, I was just cracking. The fact that it, at some point, he even got pissed. He was like, I am not a man. Ask your fiance to buy you a police dog. I didn't see that. You should post on your shorts. You know what? I'm going okay, how will I record that? Maybe I can use the tablet. Okay, I will try to record and you can see how it, like, honestly, you have full blown conversations. So the type of things that AI can do, even relationship advice. Okay, when I'm pissed, I'm just over there. Can you imagine he did this? Instead of telling people, and then when you get over it, maybe you're going through something and then, or like you're having a disagreement, you can just ask AI instead of asking people, because you know what, you forgive them, but do other people do? But you know what? AI does not give a whatever, you know? Wow. Okay, and we also have another question. I kind of even forgot. Oh. Okay, what's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? God, a lot of things. Yeah, what's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? I think my first one, of course, is not wanting children. You know, you're kind of like made to feel like you're supposed to, like, and that's supposed to be the only path. You're supposed to have children, period. That's what it is. But if you don't want that, oh, you're about to go darkness, and then right. Okay. So something that society made me feel guilty for wanting is like not wanting children. It's like you're only supposed to want children, and if you don't want them, you're literally on the wrong, you know. And I feel like it's unfair, because if you're supposed to if okay, or like, how does it help the society if I have a child, you know? That's also a question that I always ask myself. Like, why is it everybody is like obsessed with that? You know, one child is a good one. You know, it's like, how? Okay, first of all, if I have a child, will you come and feed them? No. Okay, if I have a child and I'm going through a rough patch, you'll be like, that's your property, that's your baggage, handle it, you know. But the fact is, like, I think you're only allowed to like want children. You're not allowed to not want children, or not want to mother children or father children, you know. Um wanting money, you're just expected to say that you just want happiness, you know. Wanting money is literally supposed to be like a bad thing, like oh, you want to be, you know, you want to be rich, you're supposed to say, oh my god. And when you say that, oh, money is not everything, you'll hear people saying that, like, happiness is, I just want peace of mind. No, I want peace of mind, but I think I already have the peace. Yeah, so these are let me know some of the things that you feel like society made you feel guilty for wanting. Oh, maybe not you, maybe even people around you, that you feel like some things that society does not allow you to want or not want. Okay. Oh, okay. And for those of you who are just joining in for the first time, my good name is Wamboy. Wamboy than you with a U. So somebody writing my name Wamboy with an O. Wambui. My name is Wambui. Yeah. What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? Da, 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 da. Hmm. I actually didn't know that today was on Monday. I thought today was on Tuesday. Oh my god, I want this week to go by so fast. Um okay, let me ask a silly question here. That's a silly question. What's on your mind? Okay. I think I was supposed to put that question when I started streaming. I don't know what happened. Uh, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Okay. What's on my mind? God, I'm thinking about a lot of things. Honestly, I'm thinking about the next police chase that I'm going to watch. While I'm also thinking about the last one that I watched. Uh, yeah, I'm also thinking how long will I be streaming tonight? What else am I thinking? Yeah, and some of you, we need also you guys. There was a question that was on the screen. I think that this is a question that I would want to keep on the screen, so I'll put it on the screen. What's something you would never do again for, even for money? Yeah, I said mine. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but you know, you only know you only know your experiences because you went through them. You know. Okay, I need to grab something. Cup of tea or something. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I kind of have to always make tea on my live streams. What was the last question? What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? Okay. I think what's something society that makes you feel guilty for wanting is not wanting children. Like you're literally not allowed to. Also, another thing that I feel like society makes people feel guilty for not what if you don't want to be in a relationship, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what are you gonna be doing? You're gonna be so sad. You know, what does that have to do with anything? I think another one is choosing yourself, especially if people are always used to you sacrificing, for example, sacrificing for family. So when you finally choose yourself, I think that's something that society makes you feel guilty, like, ah, you're choosing yourself over others. So that's also something. Keep telling me where you're watching me from, guys. Also, you can ask me any question. Wow. Oh, there's still a lot of questions. Okay, I need to grab that cup of tea. I have to give you all. Yeah, but I wanted to like change the question. Replace. Okay. So I'll have that question up there. Ooh, Moses Mandu, how are you doing? Society thinks I'm supposed to feel guilty about the fact that my wife is 40 years younger than me. I don't think so. Okay, what? You don't think so? Okay, do you care? Okay, wow, that's a nice one. What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? Society thinks I'm supposed to feel guilty about the fact that my wife is 40 years younger than me. I don't think so. Oh my god. So by the time she was born, you had already lived for 40 years. When she was born, you were 40. Oh my god. That's sad. That sounds sad. I don't I don't do guilt. Okay. Wow. Yeah, but I feel like you were just 40 years young. 40 years young. The problem is you were just born early. That's the only problem that's right there. Wow. Wow. But how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Okay, you already said that you don't think so, but okay, what's something you would never do for money? Oh, okay. CJ said, "Oh my God, I didn't see that comment. I don't make content, so that's probably why I don't make content. So that's probably why. But I mean, it's very cool to look at. Okay, yeah, yeah. It it kind of really is. Okay, wow. Are you guys already married? Um, what do her parents think about that? Moses Madu says, she makes me happy and I like to believe I make her happy. What difference does it make what society believes? Okay, because society looks at you like you're a creep. Okay, wow. By the time she was being born, you had already lived 40 full years. Wow. Okay, okay. Let's see next question. Yeah, I did say, what's something society made you feel guilty for? I said not wanting children. That's choosing yourself, especially when people are used to you always sacrificing for them. Yeah, of course, of course. But I feel like in every person, like for example, when it comes to me, I feel like when other people are not choosing me, they're doing the wrong thing. So maybe I don't know if choosing yourself is a good or bad thing. For example, uh, let's say, let's say your mother needs. Okay, I think mother. No, let me not use mother because I think I would sacrifice myself for my mother. Um, okay, let's go with brother. Okay, you have $30, and that's the only money that you have. Okay, $30. Okay, and your brother needs your brother calls you in an emergency and tells you, oh my God, I need $25. Okay, and remember, if you give out this money that whole week you don't have food, what would you do? Would you give out the money? Because I feel like maybe that's the scenario. Moses Mandu says her mom loves me. As to her dad, I'm not going on any hunting trips with him. Oh, okay. Hmm. That's really funny. Okay, in a case where like you have $30, your brother calls you, he needs $25. And this $30 is the money that you got. Like when you give that out, then you're gonna be out. What would you do? And he didn't just call you, he called you in an emergency. Okay, also for those of you who missed the first question was, how much do you spend in a day in your country's economy? I think we were just comparing prices. Somebody said $20 to $30 in Austria. Somebody from India said $10. I think I said with like between 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 here in Kenya, $10. So that was the first question. If you want to keep answering on that one. Okay, there's a video that I had thought about showing today. The laptop is getting excessively hot. Okay, let me make sure that this.
If you're gonna give it to me, give it to me. If not, I can go back. I'm not here to debate with y'all or nothing. If you're gonna grant me parole, grant it to me. If you're not gonna grant it to me, I got 5 months to go. As simple as that.
Well, Mr. Edwards, you make it very difficult to even consider you for parole.
I'm just being straight up. If you're gonna grant it to me, grant it to me.
Okay, let me show you.
If not, I'll go back and I'll finish my time.
Tell us why you think you deserve parole.
Hey, if you're gonna give it to me, give it to me. If not, I can go back. I'm not here to debate with y'all or nothing. If you're gonna grant me parole, grant it to me. If you're not gonna grant it to me, I got 5 months to go. As simple as that.
Well, Mr. Edwards, you make it very difficult to even consider you for parole.
I'm just being straight up. If you're gonna grant it to me, grant it to me. If not, I'll go back and I'll finish my time.
Tell us why you think you deserve parole.
If you're gonna give it to me, give it to me. If not.
Okay, why was I showing that? Okay, I think I was showing that because, okay, sometimes I usually show videos here. This guy, he's 80-year-old, and they were asking him why he think he needs to be given parole, and he's just like, if you're gonna give it to me, give it to me, you know. And I have never related to something so bad because, of course, they want you to feel, okay, maybe they want you to feel like you're begging or something, or for you to beg. If Stuart says, all right, I'm not screwing her. Okay, but that was not the intention. I was just gonna show you all this. I was watching this video and then I thought, wow, it's not funny, but it's of course it's expected. As you get older, you just don't want to do a lot of begging and stuff. But wow. How are you doing, Eve Stuart? Moses Madu says, I don't really know about daily, but I just went grocery shopping and spent $300 on roughly a month's worth of groceries. Okay, but okay, can you tell me, when it comes to buying breakfast, lunch, dinner per day, not cooking, when you're not cooking and you're eating to the maximum, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, how much do you think that would cost? Okay, there's also a bunch of questions on the screen, guys. What's something you would never do again for money? You can answer that. We also have another one. What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? Okay, $300 a month worth of shopping. Okay, I think that type of shopping out here is the rich people would do that type of shopping. Like $300 is like, yeah. I wouldn't join the army. Ooh, wow. Okay, even for the money, what if they double the money? Okay, personally, I said is working as a nanny. Like, honestly, I would rather go and become a farmer. Like, I'm already a farmer. I'm used to being a farmer, you know. The nanny thing was just too much for me. Like, I just feel like it was just too much. And then the feeling of being disrespected. Why do people disrespect people who work like nanny jobs or these odd jobs? Why do you feel like the fact that you're paying somebody little money, like let's say $60 a month, because that's what I was gonna be making? Why do you feel like you can disrespect them? Like, why do people feel like that? Because honestly, that's one thing that I am really conscious and I'm dealing with people, because you really don't want to be mean to people. If so, it's not something one does for money, benefits maybe. Okay. Oh, ooh, okay. So the same question goes, what if they double the benefits? Moses Mandu says he has 5 months to go to. Oh, he has 5 months to serve, and they want him to beg. Not to mention, he's 80 years old. If anything, he does not give. He does not give. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does not care. He's at the point where, like, he does not care anymore. Like, if you're gonna give it to him, give it to him. If not, well and good. Okay, when you join the US Army, what type of benefits do you all get? Okay, and is the military same thing like cops? Because I think it's like two different things, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's two different things. Moses Mandu says breakfast, lunch, dinner per day, no less than $75. Ooh, eating out, but that's fast food, not good food. Wow, $75. If you know this month, like at the beginning of the month, I was just not feeling like cooking and I was buying food. But you know what I would do? I would never buy 3 meals in a day when I'm eating out. I just kind of like wake up late and then lunchtime. Okay, let's say I wake up around lunchtime and then I just kind of like, what do you call that? There's something that in Swahili that you say you kind of like skip lunch. So I just skip lunch and I just buy dinner because 3 meals. Okay, if you were to buy even 3 meals out here, maybe it would be like 2,000. No, if it's good food or like fast food, even fast food here is like expensive. Maybe it would be like 3,000. How much is that? Like $20 or 21? I don't know. That's a lot out here. If $75, that's a lot. Easter says, GL bill, which had education. I don't know what GL bill is. I'm most probably maybe embarrassing myself. Which had education benefits, 0 down loan for a house. Oh, wow. Sometimes medical benefits if injured during service. Oh, and when you get paralyzed. When you get paralyzed, you will not need that, will you? Probably the best job experience. Okay, yeah, maybe. They allow you young people to do jobs most civilians wouldn't. Okay, yeah, maybe when you are young you can try all of these things, but yeah, I was just thinking, these days I've been obsessed with like watching cop shows. I was thinking, honestly, if I was to become a cop and then I'm getting a phone call in the middle of the night to go and respond to like a scenario or something, I am not putting my life on the line. No, I don't think that I can become a good cop because I'm not willing to put my life on the line. Okay, I'm gonna get that phone call. I don't know if I'm going to turn off my radio and pretend that I didn't hear or what. And it's really funny because when I started the live stream, I said, we started the live stream, I said, what did I say? I said, a calling is nothing but a job you'd like to have. Because you want to sit here and say, oh my God, I have a calling to become a teacher. No, you don't. You don't have a calling to become a teacher. I feel like this is just us being delusional. Like I heard a voice from the Lord that I'm being called to become this. I just don't think so. I feel like a calling is nothing but a job you would like to have. Okay, that might appear to you in your dreams, Moses Mandu says, we have the benefits of serving the greatest country in the world. Well, post-Trump anyway. Post or pre? Are you saying post or pre? What do you mean? Benefits of serving the greatest country in the world, okay? Oh, did you serve in the army, Moses Mandu? Oh God, now I'm just freaking out. I have all these army people in the middle. You says, they take young people from zero flying experience to flying really complex machines really quickly. Okay. Ooh, a civilian company would never do that. Wow, okay. So do you think it's worth it? Like, is it worth it to join the army? Yeah. Okay, the one, okay, I don't know how maybe the other type of military, the army, what is the other one called? Navy. I don't know how that works, but the cop one is like, I just know that I would not become a good one. I would not become a good, I would not become a good cop. I would be a good cop, but most probably I would be excessively nice where, you know? Richard, how are you doing, Richard? Hey, Wamboy, the great. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. How is it going? There's a lot of questions, so I think there's like 3 or 2. What's something you would never do again for money? That's the one Moses Mandu and Eve Stuart are answering. Eve Stuart says, same with cyber intelligence, etc. Okay, ooh, okay. So you think it's worth it? On my break at work and turning in a bit. Okay. Lunch break or midday break. Okay. Maybe you can answer one of the questions real quick. What's something you would never do again for money? And please don't say you would not work at your job when you're already at your job. Eve says, my buddy's brother joined the Navy 10 years ago. His life was going nowhere. Ooh, okay. And has his life gotten better? I feel like the military kind of teaches you discipline and all of that type of stuff. Discipline, you're a different person when you join the military. Okay. Here in Kenya, I think when you can't just quit like that. So you can't just join for the experience and just quit. I think you cannot do that. You're not allowed to do that unless you have a good reason. And guys, when you join in like the live stream, I would really appreciate that. Eve says he tested and qualified for language training. Okay, so he joined and went to Defense Language Institute and learned Farsi, the language of Iran. Wow! So he can go to the war that's going to, or that's happening, or the one that happened. Ooh, he's fluent. Really, that's nice. That's nice. So that's a transformative story. Okay, yeah. Sometimes I also feel like if my life goes south, or like I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I can just join the military. Like out here, especially if you have a university degree, when you join the military, you just start out with a lot of ranks. Like you're not going to start like okay, you're gonna get the regular training, but when you join in there, you're just going to go up the ranks real quick. So that's something that I can do if I feel like I do not have a job or I want something to do. After that, they made him enlisted flight crew on a P-3 Orion Recon aircraft. Oh my God, that's nice. That's nice news. Never went to sea. He flew off the coast of Iran and listened to their communications. Oh, wow. Now he's 10 years in and stationed at the National Security Agency in Washington, D.C. Success story. That's a success story right there. Okay, so it's worth it at the end of the day. They're also teaching him a Somali language so that he can get deployed to Somalia. But I don't think you can learn Somali. Okay, you can, but there's just a lot of languages. Something that I know about. Okay, but yeah, but I think you can learn Somali. You can learn Somali. I was gonna say most of African countries, for example, like Kenya, we kind of like speak 7 languages, not 7, like 47. Okay, you can learn Swahili, but people can also use another one so that you don't understand. He would not have done any of that outside of the Navy. He worked in a store before the Navy, stocking shelves. Wow. So it can be good. Okay, it honestly depends on an individual's experiences. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. Okay. What's something society made you feel guilty for for wanting. I feel like society makes you feel guilty for maybe not getting married, most probably not having children, especially not wanting children. Like it's like, where, who gave you the permission? Who gave you the permission not to want children? Okay, who gives you the permission to say that you're not gonna get married? Who gives you the permission? Like it's almost like, let me see. There's something that, okay, let me see. I hope I find it. Eldad says, Wamboy, yes, me. Okay, Eve says, I would never have children for money. Okay. And does that also fall in the category of like what something society made you feel guilty for wanting? You would never have children for money, but you know, you have children so that you can spend money on them. But you know what? Most people, God, this thing is playing itself. Most people, especially Africans, let me talk about Africans because I don't want you to correct me. I'm going to talk about Kenyans. Most African parents in Kenya have children so that they can have people to help them in their old age, which is really wrong, because it's like all that energy that you put into raising children, you would have put that into saving, and so that like when you need it, you need the money, it can be right there. But having a whole human being just so that you can get some help is really ridiculous, in my opinion. Eldad, how is the going? You can answer either of the question. What's something you would never do again for money? What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? That baby would have to get a job. That's really mean. But you know what? You created that baby. You created that baby, so you have to be responsible. Okay, you have to be responsible. You know, I think I see a lot of parents getting offended with their adult children being children. Okay, the adult children being children. But let me tell you something that we never think about when we are having children. Okay, when you have a child, it's like you sign up for forever, because honestly, most of us, especially who've seen how mothers can be selfless, I'm talking about mothers because I know mothers can really be selfless. Okay, like for example, like I have a brother who is in his 30s, and I still see my mother worrying about him, or my parents worrying about him. So it's like, I feel like parenthood, you have to be ready to like throw away your life. Not throw away. And I'm not, no, don't come at me. If you have a child, don't come at me. I'm just saying you have to be willing to sign up for that, or like to sign up for that long term. You'd have to get a job to okay, but see, that's your child. That's your child. Like when that's your child. Shawapes says hi. Hi Shawapes, good to see you. How is the going? You can answer either of the question. Eldad says salary. Oh, you would never something, okay, I think you answered what's something you would never do again for money. Salary. You would never get a job with the salary. Okay, tell me more about that. Expound. Keep saying hi, guys. Those of you who are just joining in, my good name is Wamboy. Oh my God, here we are literally having a blast here. There's a question here. What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? I said society makes you feel guilty for maybe not wanting children, maybe not wanting to get married. A lot of things. Let me know your experience. I was gonna read so society cares about cohesion, not about the private interest of a single member. Like the society cares about the group. Individuals are dispensable and quickly perceived as threats to the collective, especially if they hold divergent principles. Society only leaves people in peace if they conform. So brace yourself for the arrows and show up. Yeah. So society only leaves people in peace if they conform. That's the only time that yeah, Moses Mandu said that like like he's not signing up for any of that. Like he does not believe in guilt. I don't really care, so I can't tell. Shawape says, get a new job, education. Get a new job. Can you expound on that? I think I can't understand. Education, get a new job, education. Huh. Okay. What's something you would never do again for money? I think I'm still too young, but the nanny one is the one that I said. Especially if it includes me going to stay at somebody's house, it really has to be really worth it. Like I have to look at the it has to be worth it, because the type of things that you go through in people's houses, in the name of doing house jobs and all of that, is really insane. How is Kenyan, my friend? Oh, Kenya is great. I think Kenya is good, great, and a lot of those things. Yeah. So I have a topic. Bring it on. Did you guys watch the World Cup yesterday? I was gonna stream and maybe watch. I was thinking about it, then I was like, just like, you know what? It was on Sunday. I was like, let me just rest. Okay, give me, suggest the topic. You've start. Okay, let me type the next question while I'm still waiting for you, Eves, to type. Lying. I typed my question. You typed your question? You can't see them. No, your questions are not showing up. Type them again. Maybe make sure. I think this YouTube. I think there's another time that you are having such an issue. Like, make sure you're using words that are not going to be flagged. I don't know. Why are they not showing up? Show up as well. You're saying lying to Eves, because honestly we can't see the questions. That was downright profound. Downright profound. Did the question show up on your side, Moses Mandu? I cannot see the question. Or are you saying to what I said, like to the thing that I read? Society only leaves people in peace if they conform. Well, that's over. Okay. So I used okay. You can type the questions. Okay, next one. The biggest. I don't know why it's when sometimes you type something on. Is life better as a white person? Woo! Let me tell you, that's very funny, because honestly, I had that question on my thing, but I was kind of like trying to cover all the questions, because I kind of feel like maybe people will not appreciate talking about that. The question was, does white privilege exist? Ooh. Okay, so that's the question. Okay. No, let me delete this. Okay, no, I will not delete it. Is life better as a white person? Or does Oh my god, what a type of nonsense is this? I'm typing on the wrong thing. Oh my god, I have a lot to say on this topic. Okay, the question showed up. Does white privilege exist? I think I kind of like just rephrased your question. Is life better as a white person? Let me know your opinions. I think this is mostly for people in the US. Okay, but no, even in Kenya, an African Uber driver told me that it would be. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something out here. You know, the lighter you are, or the more closer to white you are, the better you'll get better jobs. You know, people will kind of like treat you as like, oh my god, you're so, you're so. I was talking the other day with my partner talking about the fact that I think, in my opinion, I have to say that I think white privilege exists. Okay, when it comes to when you even show up for jobs, when you go to look for jobs, we can ask for the same job, but when you're white, I think you're gonna be more considered. Okay, when it comes to even buying stuff, there's a lot of things that I can give example with. I think white privilege exists, especially amongst black people. I think it does, in that when I travel, everyone thinks I have a lot of money. Yeah, there's also, especially when you travel to like African countries, for example, in Kenya, everybody will be like, Muzungu, 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 Muzungu. Like, there's this perception that you can, and then there's this perception that a white person can do no wrong, you know. But I feel like maybe this is more common amongst people who have not, who maybe have not grown up with white people. So that's just my perception. Also, another thing is, yeah, that thing that you read about society, that was profound. Okay. Kaya says, the white privilege does not exist in your world. Tell me about it. Okay, but do you have black people in Austria? I would assume so, but do you have like black people in large numbers in Austria? Okay. Ooh, does white there is, does white privilege exist? I always see that with black people, to be really honest. I feel like sometimes black people are more willing to treat white people better than they are willing to treat other blacks. But I think it's the mindset thing. Okay, the thing is not only from the white perspective, it's just also from the black people's perspective. Most black people do not like themselves. They don't think that they are all of that. There's that whole thing of, when you dislike yourself, that's why you have people who honestly just want to interbreed with white people only. You know why? Because that like close proximity to whiteness makes you feel better. That's just my thoughts. But I don't feel like it's a bad thing to like have close proximity with other people. I just feel like, for example, people who are out here saying, I do not date black people when you're black. I just feel like that's kind of like, why? Kaya says, my best friend is Maurice from Nigeria. Okay. Okay, that's nice. But having a best friend from Nigeria does not change. Okay, that makes you, okay, what does you having a best friend in Nigeria do? I feel like what that does is like, you're not racist. That's what you're not. But the question is, does white privilege exist? Okay, do white people get better treatment in jobs, opportunities? Do you guys, I think it would be, to be really honest, growing up, I was wishing like I was a little bit more light skinned, or maybe white, because I was just feeling like if I was that, I would not be having the type of problems that I'm having. Austrian privilege is a thing. You probably have better healthcare. Yeah, you have a car. Kaya says, I trust him and love him with all my heart. Okay, that makes you a good person. But the thing is, having privilege is not about you. It's about how other people see you. Okay, you might be like, okay, you might be like, US Kaya, you might feel like US Kaya and your best friend from Nigeria, you might feel like you are at the same level, okay? But that does not change how maybe he feels towards you, or other people feel when they see you all together. They feel like, oh my god, you're being friends with that poor Nigerian, like, oh my god, really? You know, there's just that whole thing of like, you know, a white person will come and change your life all of a sudden. This type of stuff. Kaya says, and I hate it when I go out with him and people start looking at him for no reason. I defend him all the time. Oh, no. Okay, but see, that's what I'm telling you. Like, it's not about you, okay? Because for you, you have a one-on-one interaction, so you kind of feel like this is just a person like you, but it doesn't help how other people look at the situation, you know? Woo. Okay, so what's your take? Does white privilege exist? Me personally, I will say it exists, especially in Kenya. It does exist. Okay, I can keep maybe applying for a job for a whole year at a place, and you just come there as a white person. You apply once, and you're gonna get it, because you know why? Because they feel like uh, they feel like, oh my god, people are gonna see that we have a white person in our business. But I feel like that's just some of the effects of colonization and everything else, you know. Uh, so yes, it exists. So yeah, it exists. Okay. What are some of the things that you feel like? Eve says, I went to South Africa in 2019. What happened in South Africa? Okay. Do you feel like if you are black, let's say, even not only black, okay, because the thing is, even black people in the US, black Americans, black British people, they have the same opportunities like the white people, okay? But do you feel like if you are black in Africa, you are a black person in Kenya, do you feel like you would have the same opportunities like you do? I would doubt that. Okay, do you feel like you would have the same type of things that you do? I doubt that. I think like the environment that you're born in, and like that kind of like determines, before you're born, the environment that you're born in already determines your probability of succeeding or whatever. My first girl was from Ethiopia. Wow. Okay. Eve says, I went into a bar and the guy I was with introduced me as his American friend in South Africa. And you know why? You know why he did that? It's a whole thing of like close proximity to whiteness, okay? American friend. But American friend is, but see, it's another thing when, like, let's say you get married to somebody black, and then you're like, here is my black wife. Like, honestly, that's just your wife, that's not your black wife. A young guy pulled me aside and said, I want to move to the US. How do I get there? He had a master's degree and I thought I might help. I couldn't do anything to help him at all. Of course. Okay, unless you get I couldn't do anything to help him. But he thought I could. Yeah, okay. You automatically you would do magic unless you got married to him. That's the only way you would have helped him. I thought that was interesting. Okay, but see, it's all about. I think it's all about the chances that the country that you're in, or the country that you stay at, the type of opportunities that that country can give you. It's literally insane, because honestly, if I have a child here and I'm poor, that's exactly what I'm setting up my child for, you know. But you can have a child in Europe, UK, and you're poor, but that child still have if in any case when they grow up, there's a lot of opportunities and they can become anything that they want to be, you know. So there's also that. Yeah, but it's really interesting. It's really interesting. Okay, there's also something else that's really okay, not really funny. I watched this person, they were applying for a job, and then of course when they were applying for the job, they kind of like tried to like sound white in the job so they had the job place or the company called her, and then she when she answered she was like trying to speak white, and also the name the way she was, her name is like sounds black, her name sounds black, so she was honestly trying to like get her name to like sound white or something, you know. But it's really interesting because even if your name sounds black, you might miss a job just because your name sounds black. Okay, so if you have like an almost like a white name, they will maybe schedule you for an interview, and then when you show up, you just show up black, and it's like, oh my god, your name sounded white. You know. Those are the type of stuff that we are talking about, and it's really sad that we live in such a society. You can learn Swahili, but people can also use a lot. Moses Mandu says, I'm not sure if white privilege actually exists or if discrimination against people of color, especially black people, is just a prevalent. It gives the appearance of white privilege. Okay. So I think basically what you're saying, like the whole white privilege thing, is like it's something that is used to hide the discrimination against people of color. Wow, interesting. That, I think that's deep, you know, because we want to believe it's, yeah. Because why would somebody not hire me because of my name? Like, oh my god, your name sounds so black. Like, why? Okay. Why would I show up and immediately somebody in their mind, before they even speak to me, they have already decided, nope, not gonna give them any job? You know, why would that happen? So I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. Okay. But do you think white privilege exists? Moses Mandu. You says, but I've found that it's usually black people who believe that being white would be better. And you know what? Yeah, that I believe in. That I believe in. I don't care how many people say that it's the other way around, but I feel like black people, I feel like black people mostly, there's even the whole thing of like you black men wanting to only have white women, you know. It's a whole, it's like a supremacy thing, you know, and it's honestly really sad. Okay, but okay, this the whole thing, but also I feel like also, you know, the fact is, you know, as a white person, if you apply for a job, you know you're gonna get it, right? When it comes to even when it comes to law enforcement, the same thing happens. You know, you're more likely to get away with stuff, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. Wow. Okay. Now I feel like this is a deeper question. I don't know. Oh my god, let me pin this. Is being a black American better than being black African? Okay. I would only answer when it comes in terms of opportunity. I don't think being black American is any better than being black African. You know what? I will honestly let me write that down. I will maybe probably in the future post a video about that, because I think I have a lot to say. Is being black American better than being black African? I don't think so. Okay. I think okay, and I think being black American is just the same as being black African. But you know what's different? The opportunities, you know. When you're black in America, you're having the same opportunities, or you're in a you're in a better chance to succeed, in my opinion. Okay. Well, being black in Africa is like you're coming from literally from nothing. So it's not anything better. It's not any better. I don't even think being white American is better than being black African, really. You know, it's about the opportunities, in my opinion. What do you think? This is a question that I'll do very soon in one of my videos. Okay, is being Black American better than being Black African? I think that is we're just similar. It's just the same with being white or whatever, but the opportunities. Okay, okay, is being white American better than being white European? Okay, is being white American better than being white European? Okay, so I think that's how that question goes. Is being Black American better than being Black African? For me, it's all about the opportunities. What opportunities are you getting? Perspective. Yeah. For me, it's about the opportunities. See, when you're Black American, you have the mindset of an American. Okay, when you're Black African, you have the mindset of a when you're Black African, you have the mindset of an African. So maybe Americans think that Euros have it better. Okay, white Americans think that Europeans have it better, healthcare, education, etc. But Americans hate being taxed. Okay. Okay, what is your answer? Because you asked the question, is being Black American better than being Black African? What is your honest opinion? Okay, honestly, and this is not even to create any divide between the two. I have seen so many people making videos disrespecting Africans, the Black people literally saying, oh my God, I would rather be anything else than be African. The fact is, when my grandmother and your grandmother are put in the same chair, we can barely tell which one is American until they talk, you know? So I feel like he's really like so silly when people do stuff like that. Like you're just here saying, oh my God, Africans this, and you're also Black. The fact is, when you remove the experiences, the exposure, the opportunities, when we remove that, we are literally the same people. We are honestly the same people. You might be mixed with other you might be mixed with Europeans, but at the end of the day, what people see when they look at you, they just see Black. That's all I've always said. And have a variety of job choices. Euros think that they can get further financially in America and have a variety of job choices. Yeah, everybody thinks that. Moses Mandu says, think of it like this. A black and white are speeding. The black gets a ticket, but if the white is the only one speeding, they get a ticket. Oh, okay. So if there's a black here and a white, okay. And it's, yeah, honestly. Wow. So that's white privilege, right? Okay. Yeah. Keep answering the question. I would like to see you all's perspective on, is being a Black American better than being Black African? And Moses Mandu, I think you told me you're Black American before, so let me know your opinion. Americans have better barbecue. Oh my God, why did this thing hang up? I hope the video is still working. Am I still live? They will maybe schedule you for being a Black. Okay, Americans have better barbecue. How did that happen? Okay, there's still the question right there. And guys, can you consider liking the live stream? There's also a bunch of questions. You can choose the one that you want to answer. Okay. Don't know why this thing. I hope I'm still live. Okay. Is being Black American better than being Black African? That's the question that people are answering. So you can keep answering that. We had also another question. The biggest risk you've ever taken? Is that a coat or a robe? A coat. Okay, okay. Let me retype the question. I can barely find it. The biggest risk you've ever taken? Tyler the King of YouTube says hi. Hi Tyler, good to see you. How is it going? Welcome to the live stream. We have a bunch of questions, so you can honestly choose which one you want to. We have, what's something you would never do again for money? We have, is being Black American better than being Black African? Okay, biggest risk. Eve says, I foot launched in a hang glider from a 1,500-foot mountain. Wow. I would never do that. That's a risk. That's a huge risk. Okay. What do you call, like, how people jump? Is it skydiving? You jump from a cliff into a, you're jumping from a cliff into the water, you know? Like, also that for me is so scary, and I've seen people do that. Yeah, the biggest risk you've ever taken. No, you ran off. Oh, it's called, you say you ran off. Okay, the glider floats in about 2 steps. Wow. Yeah, I think I think for me, let me tell, I think so many things. Even the, what is it called? Zip lining. The zip lining. I really want to do that, but honestly, I want to see my reaction, because I am just that type of a person where, like, do I have to do this? No. What's the purpose of doing this? Recreation or something? Is like, no. Moses Mandu says, that's my point. That's not white privilege. It just appears like white privilege because of the discrimination against a non-white person. But when there is not a non-white person involved, they get the same treatment. Wow. Okay. When there is not a non-white person involved, they get the same treatment. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. But you know what? That's, you know, I think you kind of like give us a new perspective or a different perspective. You know, but I also feel like and this is something that I honestly feel. I feel like Black people should also work on our own self-esteem, you know, because you cannot be, for example, even in resorts, okay, and they say the waitress is Black, she's more likely to go at the counter where there's non-Black people, you know, because you know what she thinks, that you will not tip. That's honestly what she thinks, or he or she thinks you're not going to tip. So there's also that assumptions and stuff like that. So haha. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. When you join into the live stream, kindly like and subscribe. Also, there's a lot of questions you can answer. One, biggest risk you've ever taken when it comes to recreation? Wow, I barely take risks. Wow. Here is a video of me flying dog mounted for the first time 9 years ago. Where is the video? Tyler the King of YouTube says diving into the swimming pool. Ooh, that's a yeah, that's a big risk. You know, at my big age, I don't know how to swim. Ooh, it's like, honestly, I do not like taking. Okay, I like taking risk when it comes to other things, like let's say moving away from home, let's say starting something. But when it comes to like playing with my body, something that might put me in a position, I rarely do stuff like that. Rarely, very rare. I think there's a point that I went to this recreational facility. I paid to do the zip lining, and then when I was in there, I just told them, "Can you just bring me some chicken?" Or I think I ordered chicken with that money. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Sounds too risky. Diving into swimming pool. Okay, can that be dangerous? Ooh, yeah. If the swimming pool is like shallow and you hit your spinal cord. Okay, woo. If doctors gave you 1 year to live, what would you do with the year? Can you see my links? No, they are not showing up. Yeah, no, oh, I cannot see them. They're not showing up. Maybe you would have to leave. Yeah, I don't think, and even if they were to show up, like YouTube does not allow you to click live links. Limitations of stream. Yes, I think so. Okay, this is a question that I think we did on the last live, but I think it's still worth it. You know, some of you are getting this because I was streaming excessively early. Okay, if doctors gave you 1 year to live, what would you do with the year? This we did cover this in the last, but most of you did not show up because it was not the usual time. So see, that would be interesting to see yours perspective. Sadar Kantu, my good friend. Okay, you said that you're not a friend. Okay, how are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. If doctors gave you 1 year to live, what would you do with the year? Alga Banzo. Wow, what a name. I would never teach in a transitional school again. Ooh, what is a transitional school and where are you watching me from? I don't know what's a transitional school, or maybe this is something that never happens in Kenya, or we almost never hear about it. Moses Mandu says cliff to water is cliff diving. Oh, with a how do you pronounce that? Is it bunge? Bunge. Okay. Bunge cod is bunge diving. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that. So cliff diving, yeah. You, Alga says I would never teach in a transitional school. What is a transitional school? Alga says transitional school is the school between regular school and the kids who are in juvenile detention. Regular school and the kids who are... Oh, kids jail? Oh my God. So you would never do that for money? Is it a bad thing? Are the kids mean? Or does it change or does it have a negative effect? Sadar says, I think so far a risk I took was when I was around 12 and I went downhill with bicycle and I fell and the wheel hit my chest. Ooh, that's dangerous. Wow, okay. Like, I think people who put, you guys who put yourself in such situations, it's like, honestly, I want to meet your adrenaline. Like, how do you put yourself? Because for me, most things I just don't do because I fear. I have this fear. Alga says the kids are violent and disrespectful and hard to get them to care about learning anything. Wow. Okay. I don't know if we have such schools here in Kenya. Which country is that? I don't think we have such schools. It's either like when they, I don't know, but I don't know because I have never heard about them. Transitional schools. Do you all have transitional schools in your countries? Alga Banza says 95% of those kids came from really bad homes. United States of America. Wow. Okay. And not to mention, you might piss off this kid and then later on he's hunting you, he or she is hunting you down. I think, even if it's friendships or whatever, being involved with people who are into bad stuff is really risky. I don't get, that's what I was saying, that the other day I was saying that I cannot become a cop because I'm not willing to put myself or my life on the line. Because it's such things, like even you, for example, being a teacher in such a situation, it's like you might just piss off this kid, and then because they have already been through tough stuff, they're gonna hunt you down. Wow, that's a deep one. Okay, guys, we do have a bunch of questions on the screen. What's something you would never do again for money? Okay, we have the risk from Sadasis is like, he went downhill with a bicycle. Algabanza says desk throwing and sneaking weapons into class was a regular thing. Wow. Okay. Do you even correct them when they have a mistake, or do you tell them, I am so sorry, when you when they offend you, you just feel like you want to tell them, so sorry, I'm so sorry. This is something that I was saying. If I was to move to the US, I would just be apologizing before I even step on you or like I piss you off. I am so sorry. I will honestly, because you guys, everybody is armed. Like, how do you even argue with people? Like out here, you can argue with people because the worst thing they can do is like take a machete or something. Aga says you correct them and hope for the best. Okay, honestly, I would just be apologizing to them before before they even offend me. I am so sorry. You are good kids, but wow, yeah, that's why there are people who are trained for that. Woo woo, that's a deep one. What's something you would never do for money again? Yeah, I thought mine was deep, saying that like working as a house help or as a maid. That was mine, but yours is deeper. It's like, woo, wow. Okay, if doctors gave you 1 year to live, what would you do with the year? Sada says, if doctors gave me 1 year to live, I don't know what I would do. Maybe better my life or find out where to live more. But I'm lying. Honestly, I don't know what I would do. Okay. I think I was thinking about that and then I was like, first of all, I'm not trying. Honestly, I would quit everything that I'm doing right now, because everything that you do right now, you do it for a better tomorrow, right? Okay, you do it for the future, like even live streaming here. Why am I doing this? Because maybe by doing this, it's like setting me up for like opportunities and stuff. Like, I would honestly stop doing anything that 1 year I would just maybe start traveling. I think so. I think traveling, maybe I would tell people I love them more, if, yeah, because I don't think we said that enough times. I don't know. Maybe, but you know what? That's just saying. When it's literally happening to you, I think you just sit down and wallow and like you just become so sad. Are you even motivated to keep going anymore? So That's that. And those of you seeing me for the first time, my good name is Wamboy with an U. The name of the channel is my name, so that's what you can call me. Also, guys, consider subscribing and liking. Yeah, maybe if doctors gave you 1 year to live, I feel like most of us would just freeze and kind of like stop functioning. Okay. Also, there was another question. Let me pin it. There was also another question. Does white privilege exist? Okay, let me know your opinion. Maybe you can give me your opinion as a white person, as a brown person, as a black person. You know, we say the whole purpose of this is to debunk a lot of things. I am so glad. I think the people who have come into my channel, maybe 1 day or two, at least you've had like stereotypes and all of that, not to mention you're from so many different places. So kind of feel like we get to debunk a lot of things right here on my channel. So this is also a question that we have covered. For those of you joining in, does white privilege exist? Sada says, I don't know, like, I wouldn't want to make life changes just because something like near death would force me. Better to be a better person with values while you are alive and healthy. That's the ideal. Wow, that's deep, you know. But see, the thing is, okay, for me, it's not even about becoming. What is wrong with this thing? Am I live? Okay, what I was saying is, for me, it's not even about becoming a better person. It's about just living. Okay, just existing. Right now, tell me you're not thinking about tomorrow. Okay, tell me you're not about thinking about how are you going to be better. Okay, tell me you're not thinking about, okay, the cost of living, you know? Tell me you're not thinking about all of this stuff. So for me, it's all about having all of these things stop bothering me and just existing. That's what it is for me. Just start existing, because I feel like we miss out on so many things just because we are thinking about tomorrow, you know. But if you knew the exact day that you were gonna go, would you keep worrying about the things that you worry about? Would you worry about, oh my god, what will I be like when I'm 40 years old, while you're just 20? Moses Mandu says, you have a fun show. I'm going to keep watching, listening, but I have to get back to work. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Hopefully your boss will not catch you. Hope your boss will not catch you doing whatever you're doing, or like listening to me and ban you. What is white privilege? What does it mean? It's like a scenario where like people of color, or like maybe black people, feel like it's better off to be white, or like when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to all of these other things, they're feeling like white people are doing way better, or like they are more likely to succeed, something of the sort. So that's what that is. Okay, let me. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for being here. You can ask me any question. Today we have a bunch of questions actually. Uh, Sada says, I don't know, maybe there's in some form sometimes, but nowadays all people, regardless of skin color, struggle. Okay, I think we had like a bunch of. I think maybe this is more common with Black people. Um, there's this feeling. Oh, even I have seen it when we have like tourists and stuff like that. So it's like people who look like me feel like the others are better. So maybe it's not a thing from where you are at, but other people or people from like the US and maybe even African countries feel that way. Okay. I'm very bad at typing. Okay. Would you rather lower your expectation or stay single until you find exactly what you want? Okay, that's another question. Okay, and welcome everybody to the live stream. My good name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for being here. Sadal says, in the Balkans, we don't really have the concept of white, brown, or black person. I mean, there's awareness of that, but people go by nationality more than skin color. Okay. If I was to come in the Balkans, do you think it would be a good idea for me to come over there? Would I feel like maybe this is a bad decision? Okay, not because of the experience, not because of the economy, not because of every other thing, because there are places that I've seen people travel to and then they have regretted, they have felt like, oh my god, I wish I didn't come here. So do you feel like if I came to the Balkans, do you, okay, I think, let me ask a direct question. Okay, is that a place that you would recommend for a Black person? Steven Slater, rob a bank. How are you doing, Steven? What's something you would never do again for money? You did that? I'm not judging, but you did that? Oh my god. Rob a bank. Wow. I'm good, you okay? Yeah, I am okay. But something that you would never do again. Did you see the question said something that you would never do again? Then you said rob a bank, so you've done that before. I hope I think that also falls in the category of like the biggest risk that you've ever taken. I think that's a big risk, and it better be worth it. When if I ever do something like that, it better be worth it. Because you could lose your life doing that. Sarah says people would look at you because you're Africa, and there are not many Black people, but most of the time they just mind their own business. They are racist, sure, but that's everywhere. Okay, so people would literally be looking at me, right? Okay, but they don't know if I'm African. Okay, if especially if I'm not talking, I could be anything. I could be Jamaican, I could be Black British, I could be Black American. I could be anything. How would they know that I'm African? Okay, so what would they should be? Uh, what would they should be, being Black or being African? I'm still fascinated by Robber Bank. God. I'm not judging. I'm literally kidding, but you know what? Yeah. Ooh. Haha. For those people who work from home, what type of jobs do you do to have that level of like freelancing where you just work from home? Sadal says, yeah, but regardless of nation, we just see and say, oh, an African person. Wow. Even if they are American or British or French, if we don't know their nationality, we just assume it's just African. And you know what? That's exactly. So, there's Eve Stewart asked a question. Which one is better, being Black American or being Black African? And I just said, I don't think there's anyone that's better. I think the opportunities that comes with you being from a particular country, that's what makes us different. Because when we are not talking, when I put my grandmother here and I put an American grandmother here, an American, we will literally not know the difference. We will not know which one is Black, American, or okay. But most people get offended when you just assume that they're African. Even Africans themselves. Oh my God, I'm not African, I'm Kenyan. Okay, there's another question right there. Would you rather lower your expectation or stay single until you find exactly what you want? I don't know if you have this type of chocolates from where you're at. Like, I have had this for a long time. I don't know if they are expired. Oh, expired 2026. That the panda says, how can someone be this pretty? Quit gassing me up. How are you doing? You can help us by answering any of the questions. Wow. Expiry date. Do you all check expiry dates on the things that you purchase? Would you rather lower your expectations or stay single until you find exactly what you want? Haha. Let me see if you all got some standards. God, I'm literally having internet issues. Am I still live? Oh. Would you rather lower your expectations or stay single until you find exactly what you want? That's another question. Okay. And guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Wambo. You can like the live stream and subscribe. You can literally say hi. Let's hang out and have a good time. What's the time? Wow. It's 12:31 a.m. here in Kenya. Kenya, East Africa. I need to get myself an office chair. Like, my neck is killing me. Wow. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. There's a bunch of questions on the screen. Choose and answer any of them, okay? And also, there's also another question that most of you have not looked at. What's something society made you feel guilty for wanting? What's something society made you feel guilty? Let me put that question on the screen. Okay, that will be okay, it's 12:33, so maybe that will be like second last or last question. Yeah, I think I've talked about wanting money. People say that you just expected to want happiness. I want to have happiness. I want to be the happiest person on this earth. Also another thing, not wanting children. Okay, you're not expected to not want children. You're not expected to choose yourself. And when you do that, it's like, why are you doing that? Ooh, I think I've already been live streaming for like 2 hours 30 minutes, and it's literally midnight. Hopefully nobody is typing. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think I've already been live streaming for 2 hours 30 minutes or something of the sort. So hopefully, if is there anyone typing, would you rather lower your expectations or stay single until you find exactly what you want? Okay, I'm gonna give you all a second before I decide to like end the live stream. Moses Mandu says, I'd much rather stay single. What's the point of being in a relationship if you're always looking around in case there's something better? Ooh, wow. I think that that's deep, yeah. And not to mention, you're literally hurting the other person by just settling with them or settling for them. And not to mention, there are people who do stuff like that and then also share, like, oh my god, I'm just settling with you. I'm looking for a short person. But it's just fine. You just fine the way you are. It's like you kind of like just only planting a seed of doubt in this person's mind. Okay, so okay, yeah. So guys, what you're gonna do is like you're gonna end the live stream right there. 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna see you all tomorrow with a lot of better questions. Okay, so if this is your first time seeing me, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos, and make sure you all play back the videos. That really helps a lot. We're trying to get the watch hours, guys. Make sure you play back the videos. So have yourself a good day and a good night. Bye bye.